Hello and welcome back to math. You will notice the lesson that I have written down on the next piece of paper that I would like for you to write down is 2.4, add and subtract decimals. So if you guys can find an empty space in your notebook and write that title for me down. If there's ever a point where I'm going too fast for you, please remember to pause your video so that you can get everything written down. All right, so we're going to kind of come down a long ways here in our notebook. So you have plenty of space above it, and we're going to put 9 slashes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put a decimal and 2 more slashes. Okay, and then we're going to turn our notebook this way. And the first spot here in front of the decimal is going to be ones. So we're going to write the word ones. The next spot is going to be tens. And then some of you know the next one is hundreds. Then we have thousands. Ten thousands. Hundred thousands. Millions. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and stop there. We'll worry about the last two later. Okay, so we've labeled our places, our place value. Then on the other side of the decimal, we're going to write the word tenths with a TH and hundredths. Oh, I forgot my D here, didn't I? Hundredths. There we go. Now, once again, if I've gone too fast, go ahead and pause the video so that you can get your place values labeled. When you're done, we're going to turn our notebook this direction like this. So now we know if, for example, if you would write down this number here, 217 with a decimal and 0, 4 like this. We know we have 2 in the hundreds, 1 in the tens, 7 in the ones. We have no tenths and 4 hundredths. Okay? Knowing our place value is going to help us when we start rounding. Okay, well, we're going to work on adding and subtracting decimals, and so being able to know where that decimal is going to help us. The first thing I would like for you to do is, and I would like for you to write it horizontally. So you're going to write an 8, and then we say the word and for the decimal. 13, 2 places, hundredths. Plus 2 and 76 hundredths. Notice how we say the word and for the decimal. All right, when you are given a problem like this, we have to remember that adding and subtracting, you always line the decimals up. So I'm going to line my decimals up like this. 8 and 13 hundredths, 2 and 76 hundredths, and most of you have already started adding. So we add straight down. 6 and 3 is 9. 1 plus 7 is 8. Bring down our decimal. 8 plus 2 is 10. Our answer is 10, and this is our and. 89, and the spot over here was hundredths. Now, sometimes I'm not going to give you exactly the same amount of digits after the decimal, so the next one I would like for you to write is this one. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to make a little line. 4 and 206 thousandths plus 10 and 85 hundredths. Okay, remember, adding and subtracting, we always line our decimals up. Very important to remember, line your decimals. So I'm going to write my first one. I could put that one here. Some of you are going to probably put the 10 on top. Remember that addition is commutative. Back and forth. All right, line my decimal. If you notice, I have an empty spot here and an empty spot here. So I like to put a placeholder there of zeros to help me make sure everything's straight. And all we do is add straight down. 6 plus 0, 0 plus 5. 2 plus 8 is 10, so we carry the 1. 4 plus 1 plus 0 is 5. And 0 and 1 is 1. Don't forget to bring your decimal straight down. All right, I'm going to give you another problem, and this time I want you to go ahead and solve it on your own, and then we'll see if you got it correct. Let me erase this here maybe so we have a little bit more room. I'll do here. All right, try that one for me. Some of you are thinking, well, how am I supposed to do this? There's no decimal. This is the number 23. It is a whole number. There are no decimals in it. However, if I had a decimal, I probably would do it like this. And you could add zeros because 23 with this decimal and 0 is still a number 23. So if you line your decimals up, you would do it like this and like this. So you will notice 7 plus 2 plus 1. I have an answer of 101, 101, 101, and 41 hundredths. All right, well, let's try a little subtraction. So I'm going to find a new page, the next page of my book. All right, so here's my problem. 5 and 508 thousandths minus 3 and 174 thousandths. Remember, subtracting, line your decimals up for me, please. And you may solve it. All right, let's see. 8 minus 4 is 4. 0 minus 7 you can't do, so we have to borrow. Make this a 4. So now I have 10 minus 7 is 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. Bring my decimal straight down. And 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 and 334 thousandths. Now we could kind of estimate. So we could look at this as 5. This would probably round, if I rounded this to a 6. And this would round to a 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now, are my answers fairly close? Yes. 3 is fairly close to 2 and 334 thousandths. So my answer is pretty close to I must have solved the problem correctly. Okay, try another one for me. This time, would you solve this one? 21 and 9 tenths minus 1 and 605 thousandths. Okay, first thing we have to remember to do is we line our decimals up. 21 and 9/10, 1 and 605 thousandths. Oops, minus. I have an empty spot here and an empty spot here. So I'm going to put zeros in those spots so I can solve my problem. Making sure you write nice and neat is very important. 0 minus 5. I can't do that, so I have to borrow. Can't borrow here, so I have to borrow from way over here. The 9 becomes an 8. This becomes a 10. Now I can borrow from the 10. It becomes a 9, and this becomes a 10. Now I'm ready to subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 0 is 9. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring my decimal down. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 2 minus 0 is 2. Okay, so last problem that I would like for you to do, and then I'm going to check it later. I'm not going to do it in the video, but I want to see if somebody can solve this problem right here. Okay, so a lot of decimals, but this time I want to see if you can do the order of operations. Okay, so remember you're going to do this first. Find that answer, and then see if you can come up with the final answer. And at the end of class, I'll see who found it. All right, you may go ahead and stop your video.